Hey, I'm Ryan Barnett. I'm here with my partner, Scott Stone. We're with the law firm of Wibbs & Stone. We have a full-service firm practicing in numerous areas: probate, wills and estates, trust, personal injury, workers' compensation, wrongful death, and medical malpractice. If you have any of those areas that you need help, feel free to give us a call, 432-HELP. You can also locate us on the web at www.pensacolaattorney.com. And we're glad to meet, in most cases, no charge for an initial consultation, and let you know what our team of attorneys and staff can do for you. I've been in the Pensacola area for a number of years, and we're dedicated to working with the community here, and it's been a real pleasure working with our clients over the years. We got a call-in show tonight. If you have any questions that you'd like to bounce off us, we're glad to take them. Any type of issues that you have, we're glad to run them by and see what we can do. Scott, introduce yourself.
And as Ryan mentioned earlier, I'm Scott Stone, and the number to call in should be on your screen, and we have a caller on the phone now. So we'll
don't have the computer in there. But we're taking the day. All right.
The computer?
Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Ryan Barnett. I'm with the law firm of Wibbs & Stone, Pensacola law firm, practicing in the areas of probates, trust and estates, wills, personal injury, workers' compensation, wrongful death, criminal law, Social Security disability. If you have any needs in those areas, please feel free to call our office and talk with one of our attorneys. We're glad to do what we can to either point you in the right direction or help you get your case squared away. I'm here with Scott Stone this evening, my partner. We're going to be taking calls, your calls tonight, to talk with you about any questions, concerns that you might have in any of the areas of law that we've mentioned, or any other questions that you have that we can answer for you. So the number should be on the screen. Please feel free to call in. We'll be glad to answer any questions you have.
Before we take a call, I would mention that our phone number is on the screen as well, 432-HELP. You may have seen some recent signs around town indicate it's not just our phone number, it's what we do for you. So if you have anything you need help with, feel free to call us at 432-HELP. Also, if you want to find out any additional information about the firm, please go to our website. It's Pensacolaattorney.com. And it looks like we got a caller on the phone now, so let's take this call and see what we can do for him. Hi, you've reached the call-in show with Wibbs & Stone, attorneys at law. What can we do for you?
My insurance agent is trying to get me to buy coverage, and I don't understand what it's for. I thought I already had full coverage. Florida law with health.
All right, I think I got the gist of that. The caller indicated that they have full coverage and that their insurance agent has indicated that they should purchase coverage. And so, first of all, talk a little bit about full coverage. A lot of people come into our office and say, hey, I've got full coverage. In Florida, you're only required to carry certain types of insurance, and other types of insurance are an option that you can carry if you want to elect that coverage. What you have to carry is personal injury protection, which provides payment for your medical bills regardless of fault. And you may have heard that term before, too.
That's right.
Now, Scott, with the PIP, the personal injury protection, I've had a number of people ask, well, can they just issue that check to me and let me pay those bills to those providers directly? Is that something that you've had people ask you in the past?
You're talking about with the doctors, PIP?
Right.
If you're in an accident, the personal injury protection pays for any doctors that you go to as a result of the accident. You can submit those bills directly to your PIP carrier, and the PIP carrier can send those either to the providers. They can send them to you as well, but that's been a rare occasion where that has happened. Typically, you submit the bills, and the insurance company makes the payment directly to the provider on your behalf. It also pays for other things too, such as mileage to and from the providers. And obviously, if you've missed work, your personal injury protection can pay for that as well. But the PIP is something that you have to have, and property damage is the other thing that you have to have. And
And that's typically what people think of when they say full coverage. I think that's at least how insurance sometimes portrays it.
Well, and you know, common sense would tell you that if you have everything that you need per the law, you've got full coverage. And I think that's where some confusion comes in. People say, you know, I went down and my agent told me I have full coverage. Well, the agent's probably talking about you've got the type of coverage you need to meet the legal requirements to be on the road.
Well, it's probably going to be the cheapest coverage, also the easiest for them to sell.
Right. Well, and that's obviously something that happens to the agent too. People come in and say, you know, I want to have full coverage, but I want a decent price to pay on my bill too. So there's a balance there. You've got to weigh the types of coverage that you need. But hopefully that helps you understand that full coverage oftentimes is the minimum that you need. It's not every type of coverage. There's all types of coverage that you can get, and so as the caller mentioned, her agent suggested So let's talk about what is. Is underinsured and uninsured motorist coverage, and so it applies to two separate situations. One situation is where somebody runs into you and they don't have any insurance whatsoever. They don't have any assets. There's no way that you could get money from that person. You can't get blood from a turnip. You may have heard that. That would be this type of situation. So you would then look to your insurance company, and if you have this coverage that the caller indicated has been recommended to her, you would present your claim to your insurance company, and they would pay like they're the person who hit you. So that's what that would do for you in a situation where the person doesn't have any insurance. And also, let's say you have a pretty bad wreck and maybe your medical bills are $25,000, and the person who ran into you has $10,000 in coverage. Well, $10,000 is not enough to pay your $25,000 worth of medical bills. So in that case, you again go back to your own insurance company and you say, hey, under the uninsured motorist coverage, I need some extra money here to cover all these bills. And so that would be an underinsured situation, and they would pay just like it was the person who ran into you. So
I know, Scott, you've had some situations recently that we've discussed where you've had clients come to you and under the impression that they don't have coverage, and then when you go back to the carrier, there are some situations where it turns out they might if they didn't sign certain paperwork.
Right, and Ryan makes a really good point. That's why it's always a good idea to consult with an attorney. Even though the insurance company tells you there's not coverage, there are ways that you can obtain coverage through the way the law is written. And one way is that when you go to your agent and you get insurance coverage, you have to sign something that indicates that you didn't want uninsured motorist coverage. So you have to sign what's called a rejection form, and that form, basically you're signing saying, I know that uninsured motorist is available, but I don't want it. I don't want to pay for that, so I'm signing this form. And as with most things, I think anytime you're signing something that you're rejecting it, it's pretty important, and you need to carefully consider it. And so
I would say, listen, I think the idea with whether you're talking about insurance, homeowners insurance, any type of claim that you may have against an insurance carrier, if they come back to you, and Scott, you can correct me if you think differently, I tell you 99 times out of 100, they're going to deny your claim initially, or certainly a lot of times. And so if they're telling you that there's no coverage, contact our firm. Let our lawyers look into that issue before you accept that response for face value. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a minute. Take some more of your calls. Thanks.
Wibbs & Stone has a very simple philosophy.
Treat every client like they're our only one.
large enough to handle any case, small enough to care.
Help for injury victims.
Wibbs & Stone, you are not alone. You need the advice and counsel of a personal injury attorney.
You're not sure what to do.
Call Wibbs & Stone. We handle personal injury cases.
With no fees or cost unless you win.
Wibbs & Stone, you are not alone.
At Blab TV, we pride ourselves in creating productions for everyday people just like you and me. If you have an idea or production project in mind, come and pitch your idea to us. Our company has the know-how and experience to meet with you and make your idea come to life. It's really simple. Give us a call to set up an appointment to talk to one of our professional team members and begin creating a project that moves an audience of people you're looking for. Don't put it off. Call us today at 432-8982. Your idea is just a step away from reality.
Hey, welcome back to the call-in show with Wibbs and Stone. I'm Scott Stone, and I'm here with my partner Ryan Barnett. We're answering questions that may be on your mind considering legal matters. We've had a caller that just called in about a question, and I just wanted to touch base on that real quickly before we go to the next caller. The main thing is if an insurance company denies your claim, don't feel like that's the end of it. That's the time you'd most definitely need to check with an attorney and see if there's anything that can be done, because there are situations where a lawyer can make a claim where they've told you there's not one. So give us a call at 432-HELP or look us up on the web at www.pensacolaattorney.com. And with that, we'll go on and see what the next caller has on their mind, and we'll see if we can help them. Hello, caller. You're on the air with Wibbs and Stone.
Okay. My question is, I got hurt at work and my manager is telling me that I cannot get workers' compensation because I didn't report the injury under the 72-hour policy. I'm getting the impression she's going to fire me, and I've been there for 3 years without any problems before this, and I would like to know what my options are.
Okay. We'll take that call off the air, Scott. I'll let you.
Okay.
In Florida, there are a lot of employers that will a lot of times have policies in place that will lead you to believe that you have to report an injury within 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever it might be. The fact of the matter is, in Florida, you have 30 days to give notice of that claim. And one of the things that I think employers will sometimes do to try to discourage people from filing those claims is lead the injured worker to believe that, look, you haven't filed this claim timely, we're not going to pick it up. What I encourage folks to do is submit notice of any injuries that you have in writing. Send an email if you work in an office setting where you can do that type of thing, or do something in writing where you submit it to a supervisor or somebody in your human resources department, so there's a clear record of you putting them on notice of that claim. With respect to the concern that you're going to be fired, and Scott, I know that you've represented a lot of workers' compensation claimants over the years. That's one of the biggest questions and fears that people have is, look, I don't want to rock the boat, and especially in this economic environment, people don't want to do anything that's going to potentially jeopardize their job. And it used to be that there was no protection under the law for a situation where you were fired because you filed a workers' compensation claim. And then a number of years ago, there were some appellate decisions that came down in Florida. And then the legislature ultimately codified Section 205 under the Workers' Compensation Act, which specifically prohibits employers from intimidating, coercing, or harassing workers because of their filing workers' compensation claims. And so we see a lot of cases where suddenly someone who's been a model employee for years, no write-ups, no disciplinary issues, suddenly is the black sheep. They're being written up, their hours are being cut, you name it, all types of things. We've even had a situation recently, Scott, Donovan and I were talking about the other day, where a leasing company was contacting the client employer, pressuring them to fire the worker. I mean, really some crazy stuff going on out there. And so if you are in a situation where you feel like you're being targeted, harassed, you've been fired, and you believe it's connected to your workers' comp claim, there's a whole separate claim there that may need to be made. So, and it's important to have a law firm that understands those issues